Amidst the glowing skyscrapers and bustling streets of New York, a little girl named Zoya stood outside a restaurant with her mother, Eva. Life had never been easy for Eva, working as a waitress while raising her daughter alone in a small apartment. Yet, every day, she held on to hope. "Mama, if we get a big tip today, can we have ice cream?" Zoya asked excitedly. Eva smiled, caressing her daughter's cheek. "Let's hope we get a kind customer tonight." Just then, a luxury car stopped outside the restaurant. A well-dressed man stepped out, Richard Kingston, a billionaire businessman whose name was known in every newspaper. But tonight, there was something different about him, a sadness in his eyes. As he entered, the restaurant manager, Ryan, recognized him instantly. "Mr. Kingston. What a surprise to see you here." Ryan greeted warmly. Richard gave a small nod. "Just needed some quiet." Ryan quickly called Eva over. "Eva, please take Mr. Kingston's order." As Eva approached the table, her breath hitched. Her face turned pale. It was him, the man who once held her heart. The man who left. The father of her child. Richard looked up at her, and for a moment, it felt like time had frozen. Those eyes, that face, something about her felt familiar, yet unreachable. Trying to steady herself, Eva spoke in a trembling voice, "What would you like to order, sir?" Richard couldn't look away. Words failed him. At that moment, Zoya came running inside, beaming with excitement. "Mama! Mama! Look, isn't he the same man whose picture you keep in your drawer?" Richard's heart clenched. "Zoya, come back here," Eva said, panicked. "What picture?" Richard asked, confused. "I'm sorry, but, have we met before?" Eva felt as if a dagger had pierced her heart. Tears welled up in her eyes, but she swallowed them back. Then, in a trembling voice, she said, "Richard, you made a promise, you said you would never leave us alone." Those words. That sentence. Richard's mind flashed back to a rainy night, a memory buried deep within him. That night, Sophia had placed his hand on her stomach and, with a trembling voice, whispered, "Richard, we're going to be parents." He remembered the way she had looked at him with innocent hope and asked, "We'll always be together, right?" And he had promised, "Yes, I will never leave you and our child. That's my promise." But fate had other plans. The very next day, Richard received a business opportunity, a deal that could change his life forever. He had left, promising to return soon. But he never did. Richard's voice broke as he explained, "Eva, I never wanted to leave. But I had an accident. I lost my memory. I didn't remember anything, except for a single photograph of you." At that moment, Zoya clung to her mother's side, watching everything with wide, curious eyes. "Mama, why is this man looking at you like that?" Ryan, who had been silently observing, finally spoke, "Time doesn't heal wounds, but kindness and love just might." Richard turned to Zoya and knelt before her. "Will you give me a chance to be a part of your life?" Zoya looked at her mother, then back at Richard. Her little hands reached out to touch his face as she whispered, "Mama, is this true? Is he, my papa?" Eva's eyes filled with tears, but this time, they weren't of pain, but of a long-lost happiness. She ran her fingers through Zoya's hair and smiled softly. "Yes, my love, he is your papa." Hearing those words, Zoya's face lit up with pure joy. "Papa," she squealed, throwing her arms around Richard's neck. Tears streamed down Richard's face as he held her tightly. "You are not just my princess, Zoya, you are my greatest happiness." Zoya giggled. "Papa, do you know? Every night, I prayed for a papa who would tell me stories, push me on the swings, and call me his princess." Zoya giggled. "Papa, do you know? Every night, I prayed for a papa who would tell me stories, push me on the swings, and call me his princess. Richard kissed her forehead, his voice trembling. And from now on, I will do all that and more. I will never leave you again. Ryan watched the reunion unfold with a gentle smile. Looks like fate has written its most beautiful chapter yet. Eva took a deep breath, silently thanking the universe. Maybe she wasn't ready to forgive Richard completely yet. Maybe it would take time. But looking at Zoya's joy, she knew one thing for sure: sometimes, life gives us a second chance.